Welcome to Midfield SportsCast.
And the 16th episode of the Divided Friendship Podcast. That's a lot of numbers. All right.
There's only 16 of them.
Literally. But it's only 2 because the 1 is 6. That made your brain hurt, didn't I?
Mm-hmm.
All right. It's me,
It's
Maddyx.
30 seconds in and my head already hurts.
It's me, Maddyx. It is Dawson, and it is Luke.
Yeah.
Get off your phone, all right? You got me? All right. I guess we'll just run down what we're doing. Same thing every week. We'll talk about the games from last week, which we're late putting this podcast up. We had a lot of stuff get in the way this week of being able to film.
We some grinders.
But we're here. Hopefully this is out on Saturday. Excuse me. And we will be talking about the games from last week, the games in the upcoming week, which is tomorrow, and upset of the week. Talk about a few other things on the way. All right. So, what games do you want to talk about? Luke?
Me?
Yeah.
I would like.
Bro is not ready once again. Well.
I didn't know it was going straight to me.
Get ready, boy. Pod 16, you should know by now. You got me?
I'm going to talk about USC and number 6, Oregon. Just like last week with USC, they put up a good fight with the top 10 team. Last week they put up a good fight against Washington. They lost like 50 to. I don't remember the score. It was a high scoring game. That's the point. This week a little more defensive for the Trojans and the Ducks, but Oregon got it done 36-27.
It's not defense, Luke.
I know, but better.
We're Big Ten fans.
Better
Buddy.
Defense than usual. I mean, at least it wasn't.
We got you.
70 to.
We got you.
Caleb Williams went 19 for 34, 291 yards, and a touchdown. But Bo Nix had a better game passing. He went 23 for 31, 412 yards, 4 touchdowns. And that led Oregon to a win over a solid USC team. High's McCarthy.
Buddy, you went 6 for 7 for 8 last week. They're not helping his case. Michigan's not helping his case.
Hey. 7 for 8 and 60 yards is a lot of yards.
I'm not saying he's bad. I'm saying Michigan is not helping his case.
Like corn for Eisen.
But I keep winning, so it doesn't really matter.
Like corn for Eisen.
All right, buddy. All his touchdowns are from the 3.
No.
Yes.
No.
More than half of them.
No one cares. He gets the team down the field. Why else does it matter?
Because Andy would be better if he played all year.
Hmm?
If Henderson played all year, he would be better than Blake Corn.
No.
Yes. He's only 150 yards behind. 50 carries behind. And averages 6.8 a carry. Do the math.
Alright. We're getting off track. Alright.
All right, next game. What we got?
All right, next game. We've got number 24 North Carolina against 40. Oh, I just said their score. 45 Duke.
You've been off the last 2 weeks.
I know. Number 24 North Carolina against Duke. This game went into double overtime where North Carolina had a little flip touchdown from Drake May that got them the lead, and then, or I think that was a 2-point conversion. I'm not sure, but they held Duke on this 2-point conversion to secure the game. Grayson Loftus, 16 for 28, 189 yards, 3 touchdowns. Jordan Waters, 113 yards, and he added 2 touchdowns. Loftus also had 1 on the ground. Drake May, 350 yards, a touchdown and an interception. Amarion Hampton, 31 carries, 170 yards, and a touchdown. I mean, very high-scoring game, very entertaining game. North Carolina survives.
Me and you were watching that live.
Live!
It was a good game, and we all three picked North Carolina. Moving on, I'm going to talk about the Georgia Bulldogs winning 52-17, claiming their spot as the number 1 team in the country by getting their first. Sorry, I just dropped the mic. Their first key win of the year, blowing out the number 9 ranked Ole Miss Tigers. What the heck? What the heck? Ole Miss Rebels at the time. Moving on, 52-17. Beck went 18 for 25 for 306, 2 touchdowns and an interception. They really don't ask a lot from Carson Beck, but when they do, he delivers, going for 306 and just continuing his great year. And then Jackson Dart only threw it 17 times. That's very surprising for this Ole Miss offense. He goes for 112 yards and an interception. Judkins, 22 carries, 75 yards, 2 touchdowns. They tried, 22 carries, 89 yards total. I don't know why that. Rush yards, he had 75. This thing is trippy. Had 2 touchdowns on the ground. I don't know why they didn't throw it anymore with Jackson Dart, but I mean it was 52-17, so who knows? Georgia claims the number 1 spot in the country, and rightfully so, coming from an Ohio State fan.
On jaw. Another game, just briefly touch on these. Florida State avoids the upset from Miami, holds them on 4th down, I believe it was. Tyler Van Dyke tried to extend the play, threw an interception. Washington held off Utah, 7-point victory for them, and keeps their undefeated campaign alive. Texas holds off TCU. That one was a lot closer than people anticipated it to be. TCU scored 4th quarter points. So there was that. Oregon State scored 62 points on Stanford. Missouri, Eli Drinkwitz, his first win against the Volunteers in his career. Missouri took that one 36-7, which there is something I want to talk about from that game. I think his name's Cody Schrader. 35 carries, 205 yards, and a touchdown. And he also added 5 catches for 116 yards on the ground. Missouri very dominant in that game. UCF beats Oklahoma State 45-3. John Reese Plumlee played very well. RJ Harvey played even better. 3 interceptions for Oklahoma State, I believe it was. They fall 45-3.
I thought bro was watching hockey. Like, not watching hockey, but looking at the game. Sorry.
Texas Tech defeats Kansas by 3 on a late field goal. Kansas, Jason Bean went down for them in the game, did not return. So now both of their quarterbacks are hurt.
Daniels returning.
Oh, he's coming back?
Yes, he released a video. He is returning for Kansas. He'll be back. Their schedule is not as difficult as you may think, and
you need to do that. Be back a minute ago.
If they can figure something out and keep him healthy, watch out for Kansas next season. Get ready for our off-season takes.
Jaden Daniels. Heisman campaign. He could win it. 372 yards, 3 touchdowns. Added that 234 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns.
Great game.
That's a lot of yards.
The top 3 Heisman I've seen overall has been
Nix,
Daniels, and Penix. Sitting outside of that, you have Marv, who as of right now is pretty good long shot. You'd have to have a few people lose and a lot of yards the next 2 games. Then you have, I don't even know. Yeah, nobody else really has a shot at this point in the season. Knicks and Daniels, I think, is who it comes down to. What other game? Talk about Washington.
The final game, Arizona escapes.
Did you talk about Missouri, Tennessee?
On the road against the Buffs. Colorado falls to 1-6 in Pac-12 play. Luke, what happened to that prediction, bud?
Luke, does Vanderbilt still have a shot at the SEC title?
Yes.
You said that Colorado would be a bowl team that
Give me the microphone.
might have went 10-2,
I
9-3.
I said that they have potential to be a 10-2 team if they play good, like they did against TCU for the rest of the year. That is what I said.
Yeah, and TCU's not
that
good.
We look at it, TCU is butthole water.
They're also 4-6, so.
Hold on, let me say something. It's really off topic and it's really random, but I just want to say this: Washington State has fell off a cliff. I don't know. They just suck now.
Where did that come from?
I don't know, but I just wanted to mention that.
Anyways,
not really high expectations for them, anyways.
4-6.
That's not very good. But we're gonna talk about interrupting them. We're gonna talk about the biggest game of the week at the end of the podcast when Michigan peeps talk about Michigan game from last week.
Well, that's all the games.
All right. Well, now it's time for a little segment from Backwood Billy 5975. One of our first comments on our YouTube for our podcast. Hit the subscribe. Nope, I'm reading it. Backwood Billy said, "I can't support this, period. In fact, I shouldn't even be commenting, period. But here's another fact, period. Any Michigan fans in parentheses, that is friends with a Buckeye is, in fact, not a Michigan fan." So Backwood
He
Billy.
said Suckeye fan.
He did say Suckeye fan. Bro was throwing shade at both of us, all three of us.
Well, bye, Maddyx. Sorry, you're off the pod. It's just you on one. You're off the pod.
I started this thing. I bought these mics. What's your thoughts on Backwood Billy's comment? He said you're not a true Michigan fan.
Well, here's the thing. It makes you a stronger Michigan fan, is what it does. Because you had to go through all those years of the Buckeye fans. You can't for 10 straight years.
Buddy, you didn't even watch football until the first year you won.
I didn't say I did.
Then why would it matter to you?
Cause you dragged me into this comment situation, buckaroo.
Why are you going at Ohio State fans when Backwood Billy is literally a Michigan fan? You're supposed to get mad at Backwood Billy, not me. What do you mean? Oh.
Why are we supposed to get mad at Backwood Billy? Everyone's entitled to their own opinions.
We'll do it. We'll freak you, Backwood Billy.
Oh, no.
You too.
No, he's not.
Yes, he is.
No, he's not.
He said you're not a true Michigan fan.
I don't take offense to that.
He said you're not a true Michigan fan.
That's all right.
Dawson tells me I'm not a true Michigan fan all the time.
I don't take offense to that.
He says I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
When did you start watching Michigan?
When they beat Ohio State.
Exactly.
That's what I just said. That you're supposed to be going after Backwood Billy, not me.
I wasn't going after you.
You want to get? Well, Backwood Billy. All right. See, back in the day when me and Philly met each other, we were two. Or
so
younger.
we didn't care about that.
We did not know we were fans of Ohio State or Michigan at the time. We were both probably. I know I was in Ohio State onesies and crap like that.
Born into a culture.
Yep. And I mean that's just how it happened. I mean, would we still end up friends? Probably. But yeah. Luke.
I will say this, not about that, but about where Dawson said where I just started watching Michigan.
Oh.
Listen.
Listen.
Oh,
I'm not. No, I'm not going.
Backward Billy.
I'm not going after him. I'm just saying. I will say this. Even though I didn't start really watching. I mean, I still would have considered myself a tiny fan, but I didn't really watch the games. But even though I started watching the games whenever they beat Ohio State, I've never really liked Ohio State fans. They're very aggravating.
that
and
doesn't
annoying.
make you a fan.
Okay, but I would consider
I
myself a
hate
tiny
Cowboys
fan.
fans. That doesn't make me an Eagles fan.
I think I'm a pretty tolerable Ohio State fan.
You're a tolerable Ohio State fan.
Sometimes.
You're one of the rare.
What?
You're one of the rare ones.
Bruh, I do not talk that much trash. My parents told me not to. Like when we beat you guys, I was told not to, and if I did, I got in trouble. I did. I actually remember getting in trouble one time. Mom would be like, "Did you say anything about Ohio State?" And I was like, and I told her one thing I said, and she was like, "I told you not to say anything." All right.
Are we ready for the games? Top 5 of the week?
Yes.
You're
Back
not
with
giving
Billy.
Updates.
You can, if you don't like us, stop watching us, you fat fart.
No, you gotta cut that out. That ain't it. That ain't it.
I call everyone fat farts.
That ain't it.
I don't care.
No, that ain't it.
He's probably fat, old.
That ain't it, Mad Pat.
He's definitely
No.
fat. He's old. He's a lord that sits on his couch.
Okay, enough.
He,
Top 5 games of the
he
week.
definitely has
Shush.
a big beard.
Enough.
Lives in a cage in his,
Shush.
or lives in his mom's basement playing Madden all day. Actually, that's me. I feel like you guys. I hate Backwood Billy.
I really don't care that much. I think you're making a big deal out of it for no reason.
Why?
Why would I be mad at him?
He's not.
No, he's not.
As he is.
All right, be quiet. Top 5
Backwood Billy.
games of the week. We got. Open us up. Oh, dang. The only non-ranked first-ranked game. Actually, update him on the score first.
Oh. All right. Scores of the games to this point. You got Philly and Luke both sitting at 57, tied for second. And in first, me with 64. Yeah. I'm at 64. Last week it was a bigger gap. You guys both gained 8, and I gained 4 this week. You guys went 5 for 5 on picks and got 1 pick right for an upset. But
still, though, that puts us down 7 with 2 weeks
Yeah.
left. Okay. The first game of this week. Okay. The first game of this week is number 20, North Carolina, going into knockoff Death Valley to play against Clemson. Luke.
I'm not restating the games again this week.
I guarantee you're gonna.
I don't know how to start it though. Alright. Clemson coming off that big win against the Notre Dame Fighting Irish, the big knockoff upset to send the Irish down in the rankings. North Carolina also coming off a good game that we talked about earlier, that 2 overtime win against Duke. I'm feeling confident with Clemson here, and this is going to spoil my upset pick of the week. Don't care. I'm going to go with the Clemson Tigers. I'm going to go Clemson 23-20.
All right. I'm going to go I think this is kind of a trap game for North Carolina, but I don't think Clemson's that good. So, give me North Carolina 25-21.
Keep this quick. Agree with Luke. At home, Tigers win 24-17. Philly, game 2.
Second game, we have number 21 Kansas State going on the road to number 25 Kansas in a rivalry game.
Big rivalry game here. Kansas just got upset by Texas Tech on that last-second game-winning field goal. Kansas State has also been upsetted on a last-second game-winning field goal. But I think Kansas State's going to come out over top of the Kansas Jayhawks. I'm going to go Kansas State 37-24.
All right, Billy.
I like Kansas, but give me Kansas. Home team, I'm going to go Kansas 33, Kansas State 27.
Kansas quarterback problems have made their year a little rough, and I think Kansas State is a better solid team at quarterback right now. So, I think Kansas State wins it on the road 38-24. 38-24. All right. Game 3, we are cooking through these right now. Billy?
Next game, headed to Corvallis, Oregon. We back on it. Number 5, Washington, looking to remain undefeated against the number 11 ranked Beavers. This should be a very good game.
Washington has looked good all throughout the season, including their games against top-ranked opponents. Best win coming against the Oregon Ducks, where they won at 36-33. They won by 3 points, I know that much. I think that Washington's going to keep their undefeated season alive in a classic Pac-12 battle, high scoring. I'm going to go Washington 45-43.
All right, I'm going to go. I'm torn because Washington hasn't looked amazing.
Past 3 weeks, been pretty close. Well, if you're the number 5 team,
I do need some points.
you gonna take DJ?
Give me Oregon State. DJ
Badoogie.
Uyunglele. Not Uga Badoogie. He's going to torch Washington's defense. Give me Oregon State 43-35.
All right.
You know what? Give me overtime.
1 overtime. All right.
You know what? We'll leave it at 1.
All right. I would love to pick Oregon State. I would love to. But not so fast. Washington wins. I think their offense is more high-powered than Oregon State's. They win 38-21. Washington wins pretty handily. All right. Game 4.
Let me find it right quick.
Why is bro sits in the weirdest position? Stay in the same spot. What is that position?
I don't know. But next game, number 22, Utah coming off a loss, headed to Arizona to take on the number 17 ranked Wildcats. Ooh, we could get tickets to this game for $16.
A little too far away. It'd be like 400 combined.
It's okay.
Alright, I've been really confident with Arizona this entire season.
No, you have not.
Well, okay, not the entire season, but recently I've been very... What's the word? My picks have been towards Arizona's side.
Ever since they got one upset.
No, because I predicted their upset, and then I stayed on the train after that upset.
Fair.
So I've been on the Arizona train, and I'm gonna stay there. I think Arizona gets a quality win over Utah, who is coming off of a loss to Washington. I'm gonna go Arizona. I'm gonna go. Let's see here. Arizona 40, Utah 33.
A lot of Pac-12 on these predictions.
I don't think Utah's offense is capable of putting up that many points, even though they just almost did it last week against Washington. But I'm also going to go Arizona. I'm going to go Arizona 27, Utah 14.
20s. Oh, that was bad.
20s.
Luke, you can't even voice crack.
I know.
Bro, what are you doing?
Okay.
I'm also going to go with Arizona 36-21 in this one. I think the Wildcats have a better quarterback situation than Utah. All right. Game 5, the last game of the podcast. What do we got, Philly?
Last game could be a little game of the week. Doubt it. But number 1 Georgia against number 18 Tennessee in Neyland Stadium. That's why I think there's a shot for Tennessee here. Not a big one, but it's there.
All right, Luke.
Alright, Georgia recently has been dominating every ranked opponent that they played. I think the past two top 25 ranked opponents that they played, Kentucky and Ole Miss, I think those were the past two they played. Whenever they played them, they were ranked. Putting up 54 on Kentucky and then 52 on Ole Miss. I think they're going to do the same thing here to Tennessee, just not as much points. I'm going to go Georgia 37-3.
Okay, I'm going to go Georgia by a score of 36-13.
I don't know about 37-3, Luke. That's a big blowout at Neyland Stadium, which has been fairly nice to Tennessee over the past few years. I think Georgia still wins this one, but I think they win 24-10. All right, that's all the games. Yeah, pretty mid games this week. The college game day game, not on the top 5 picks or top 5 games of the week for the first time in a while. Probably the first time all year. But now we got the upset of the week. Luke, we already know yours. It is Clemson beating UNC. Do you have anything to add?
No.
Billy? You got yours yet?
I had it earlier.
Let me go.
Oh, no, I got it.
All right, you got it.
It is, I'm going to go with Miami over Louisville. Technically not an upset again. Miami's favored by 1. But Louisville is ranked number 10 and 9-1, and Miami 6-4. So I consider that an upset.
I mean,
that's my pick.
Pretty weird for them not to be favored. But with my upset of the week, I have the college game day game. Appalachian State beats James Madison. Gives James Madison their first loss of the year. Appy State wins. That's my upset of the week. What the heck? All right, moving on. Let's talk about our team's games from last week and upcoming. Phone, please. Luke? What? All right, I can get this done pretty quick because we play Cupcakes next 2 weeks. And I'll say that, and we'll lose to Minnesota. Nice. Good thing it's at home this time. You guys got to play out Maryland. It is trap week. All right. not the game I need.
Everyone remembers
What do you need?
Trap Week last year.
How do you do
Ohio State narrowly escaped Maryland.
that?
and
Dallin Hayden
Michigan
carried us to that game.
Narrowly escaped Illinois.
Took them game-winning field goal. Took us, a freshman, with 3 touchdowns. All right. Ohio State last week beat Michigan State 38-3. Pretty nice game in this one. Took the starters out halfway through the third and just coasted to a victory. Only scored 3 points in the second half. Marv dominated, had 7 receptions, 149 receiving yards, 2 receiving touchdowns, 1 rushing touchdown, and 168 total all-purpose yards because he had this end-around play that worked for a touchdown. McCord goes 24 for 31 for 335 and 3 touchdowns. Very efficient for him. Stover gets 7 receptions. Great to get the tight end involved coming off the injury last week. He had a touchdown and 79 yards. Henderson, we gave him 13 carries for 77 yards and 77 total yards and touchdown only. He had 63 rushing. Could have fed him more, but took him out, obviously, halfway through the third. Xavier Johnston had a big run in the second half. He had 71 total yards. Then just a lot of one-catching performances there. But overall, great game by Kyle. Great game for the offense to start fast. And obviously coming down the November stretch, they are going to take their starters out. So 38-3 might not be what you would have thought, but we did not really do anything in the second half. Just ran the ball, moved the clock. Defense played great. Only allowed 94 rushing and 88 passing yards. We are playing Michigan State, but still. Yeah, that's all I got to say about this one. Moving on, Minnesota this week. They got Kaliak Manis at quarterback. He is pretty decent, but he's the Big Ten quarterback that isn't at the top. So, he has 1,582 passing yards, 13 touchdowns, 7 picks. I think the Ohio State's defense could get a turnover off him. With how good a secondary he's playing right now. Travion Henderson is going to need to get fed in this game. Marv probably will get fed, but nothing. On normal, Kyle needs to get ready, get warmed up for next week, and not get upset by Minnesota. Get out of the trap week. Whatever you can, get out of the trap week and get ready for Michigan next week. For them, we have to stop their number 1 threat, Daniel Jackson. He has 7 touchdowns, 676 yards at receiver. Darius Taylor is decent at running back. He has 4 touchdowns for 672. Defensively, I do not think they are good enough. Points allowed per game, 25.8 for Minnesota. I think we could drop a lot on them. But probably second half starters will get taken out if we're up. But again, trap week. That's all I got. You guys are up next.
All right, before we talk about this, just came across something. Power 5 championship game clinching scenarios. SEC already clinched, Georgia, Bama. Now we go to the ACC. It's Florida State versus, and it is likely to be Louisville, and they can clinch with a win against Miami this week or a North Carolina loss this week. So if one of those happens, Louisville's in. For the Big 12, Texas can clinch with a win. Whoa. I'm slow today. Texas can clinch with a win at Iowa State and losses by 2 of Oklahoma, Kansas State, and Oklahoma State, which is very possible. For the Big 10, Ohio State or Michigan, winner of the game will clinch the title there. Iowa can clinch the Big 10 West with a win over Illinois. Washington can clinch with a win at Oregon State or an Oregon loss and an Arizona loss. Oregon can clinch with a win at Arizona State and an Arizona State loss and an Oregon State loss. So a good amount of things have to happen there. But possible. Last week, Michigan, Penn State, big game.
Yes.
Big Ten thriller, baby.
Yes.
Gotta love Big Ten ball.
Michigan actually played a non-cupcake team. Even though I know. Wait, hold on. Rutgers and UNLV are kind of good. Well, Maddyx.
Okay, anyways, Michigan won this one 24-15 over the number 10 ranked Nittany Lions. J.J. McCarthy only 8 attempts, but he completed 7 of those for 60 yards. Drew Aller on the other side, 10 for 22, 70 yards and a touchdown. Under 50%. Blake Corum, 26 carries, 145 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Donovan Edwards was looking explosive, probably the most explosive we've seen him this season, and most explosive we've seen him really since Ohio State, or well, maybe Purdue.
That was his first game this year going for over 50 rushing yards. He had 10 carries, 52 yards, and a touchdown. J.J. McCarthy, 8 carries, 34 yards. Katron Allen on the other side, 12 carries, 72. Drew Aller, 10 carries, 49 yards, and a touchdown. Nick Singleton, 13 carries, 43 yards, and no touchdowns.
See, this is very interesting. This is interesting to me. Allard threw it 42 times against Ohio State. Went 18 for 42. And didn't against Ohio State he did that. Against Michigan, he only threw it 22 times. Both times under 50%. Maybe somehow get Sean Clifford back.
Nah.
Alright. Sorry.
Anyways, Michigan outrushed them 20. Oh my god.
You were bugging.
227 yards on the ground to 164. And receiving, Michigan's leading receiver Cornelius Johnson had 2 catches for 24 yards.
What a game.
Penn State's leading receiver Tyler Warren, 2 catches for 25 yards.
What a great game receiving. It's a Big Ten football.
I mean,
there's
not really much statistically to say about that.
That's all there is on that.
Next, Michigan in the trap week.
Wait. You haven't even said anything about this game.
Go to the bathroom.
I don't care.
Bro, we don't care, dude. Talk.
I do.
Stop. You're making it go longer by saying
Then
stuff.
just go.
Talk, Philly.
No.
Talk, Philly.
Come on.
I've been talking the past 2 minutes.
You interrupted him, dude.
Come on. Keep going.
You can talk.
Shut your yeah.
No, I'm done talking. You can talk. I've been talking.
Well, he started talking. I didn't talk.
Yeah. So.
Well, I forgot.
How do you...
Talk.
Michigan at Maryland in the
No,
trap.
don't advance. Stay on this game. He said there's nothing more statistically.
Michigan, great win. First win that's not really a cupcake win of the season. At Penn State, really difficult game. My heart was pumping.
Was it?
Yeah,
Your heart's
it
always
was.
pumping.
Not against UNLV or Minnesota.
Your heart always pumps blood,
My heart
buddy.
was exploding against Michigan State. I have no idea why. No idea.
You'll get nervous over nothing.
I was actually scared. I don't know why.
Anyways,
I don't really have much to add on.
Penn State's offense looked about what we expected after the Ohio State game. Michigan didn't throw a pass the whole second half. Matter of fact, they didn't throw a pass from 8 minutes to play in the second quarter all the way on. Domination. Big Ten football.
Yes, sir.
We had 46 rushes. Penn State had 35.
I honestly... I'm not supposed to be talking about this game, but I mean, I would be if we were talking about top 5 games. That is the best game of the week, so I'm gonna put my input in here. The reason I know you're a run-heavy team, I know that, and that's a fact. But you're really not usually that run-heavy.
Well, we didn't need to throw.
But when you did throw, McCarthy was getting flustered. You can't lie about that. Your tackle was getting kind of murdered in the first quarter. Then you put that extra lineman in and you start running the ball.
Exactly. So what's that tell you? What's going to happen against Ohio State?
But
Tuimoloau starts getting off the edge. Extra lineman. Run it.
That isn't much domination. I mean, I know you run the ball dominantly, but the whole game wasn't domination. It wasn't all Michigan. You were forced to run the ball because your tackle got killed in the first quarter.
I disagree with that. If we were forced to run the ball, we wouldn't have ran it. There's no way they run it that much if we were forced to. It was working, we ran it.
That's what I said. That's exactly what I said.
You said we were forced to run it. You made it seem like we couldn't pass.
You went 7 for 8, and your quarterback dropped back a lot more than 8 times.
Okay.
Yeah, and then you started running the ball, and then you ran it dominantly. That's what I said. Your tackle was getting flustered in the first quarter. You texted me that, and I agreed with you. That's why you ran the ball that many times. You ran the ball dominantly. The whole game wasn't domination.
But that was still the number 1 rush defense in the country. And that's what happened to him. Extra linemen or not.
I don't care about the extra linemen. I
mean, they were in that formation literally the whole game.
Mm-hmm.
And Penn State still couldn't stop it.
Mm-hmm.
That was basically, hey, we're running the ball. Stop it. And they couldn't.
I know.
They had our signs.
Did they?
Mm-hmm. We showed them on the field. We
Literally.
gave them to them.
Literally.
Mm-hmm. Anyways, on to Michigan and Maryland.
Did you hear that? That's my stomach. I'm so hungry. Talk about Michigan, Maryland.
Oh, gosh. Michigan is favored by 19.5 points. Obviously favored in this game. I don't know why they wouldn't be. Maryland has clinched a bowl berth. They started off 5-0, I think, and lost 4 straight. So, kind of on a cold streak. Got a couple back. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that one hurt. It's big noon kickoff. Shouldn't really be close, but
it is the trap game, so.
At Maryland. Maryland's not really a bad team.
They're not really bad, but.
So I expect Michigan to win this by a good bit.
I think Michigan is going to win like 42.
Keep saying your statement.
Sorry.
He's getting angry.
I think Michigan's going to win this 42-30. I don't think that they cover the spread.
42-30?
That's a lot of freaking points given up by the best defense in the country.
I know, but it's trap week, so
Trap week is usually low scoring, not high scoring.
Well, this trap week is the
Remember Illinois last year? Was it 17-14?
It was like 16 to 14.
It was 19. No, it was 19 to 17.
Hold up.
It was 19-17 final.
I need to find this.
I know Luke was spazzing out in that game.
I was. Oh my god, my heart like.
Now that was Big Ten football.
I'm surprised I did not have a heart attack.
Chase Brown, that's the only reason went back last year.
We are
Chase
lucky
Brown
I'm even
versus
speaking today.
Blake Corum and Donovan Edwards.
Corum didn't play that much, did he?
Not really.
No, because he got hurt. He got hurt.
No, he didn't. He got more than 3. He got 3 against Ohio State. That didn't matter much.
He had.
He got at least
he got a lot of carries this game. 18.
First half.
Yeah.
Tommy DeVito was their quarterback last year.
Tough.
I didn't know that.
That's why they were good. They had DeVito, and then they ran it so much. I actually watched them a lot last year. I don't know why, but they ran it so much with Chase Brown, like 40 times a game. And then when they needed to, they just dropped back and throw it.
Yeah, in this game he had 29 carries.
Yeah, he's a horse.
Yeah, they won 19-17. Anyways, that's all we have to say about that game. Thank you guys for watching or listening to this podcast.
Wait.
Away.
Are we talking about this in this podcast or next podcast? more about the Michigan stuff. Is that this pod, or do you want to wait for next pod?
I really don't think there's anything else to talk about that much.
Wait,
go back.
The coach is getting fired.
Michigan, update on the Michigan situation before we leave here, before we close it out. Michigan's linebacker coach got fired today it seems as if they found something on him. Apparently, he was potentially funding Connor Stallions and the different scouts to go out and take the signs.
I also saw, I don't know if you saw this, but that there was a possible booster by the name of like Mr. T or something, or something. I don't know. It was a weird name. Funding him also.
Anyways,
it's getting weird. That was bad. It's getting weird.
It's all
going downhill.
It's all allegedly. None of it's proven.
Yeah.
Innocent until proven guilty. And Jim Harbaugh wants that. But he didn't get it.
Free Jim Harbaugh.
Anyways.
I'd rather beat from an Ohio State fan.
I would rather
Obviously, I like it's cool because I can like throw jabs in about Jim getting suspended and then possibly cheating, but I would rather beat Michigan if we beat Michigan with Jim on the side.
But it's going to be even more embarrassing whenever you guys lose to Sharon Moore. He's not a bad coach or anything. It's just he's not our head coach.
All right. Well,
anyways,
we'll talk more about this in the next podcast.
Harbaugh and Michigan decided to not fight the 3-game suspension. Wait. I don't care. Michigan and Harbaugh decided not to fight the 3-game suspension. The day before they were supposed to go to court, dropped out. And they're just going to... I mean, maybe it was to potentially keep him from getting suspended in the postseason or something, but he accepts his suspension. Sharon Moore here the rest of the way out for the regular season. And that's all we have on this situation. I'm sure more will come out this week.
Still investigating.
They should be. Like the Big Ten should be.
The Big Ten got... They didn't suspend Harbaugh from their investigation. They suspended Harbaugh from the information they got from the NCAA.
From what the coaches wanted.
And the information they got from
because they were scared.
The information they got from the NCAA is why they suspended.
Why else would they rush it?
They said that's what they said. They got the information that they got from the NCAA. I'm saying what they said.
Okay, but why else do you think they would?
Because the coaches said
the morning of the game suspend Jim Harbaugh.
I told you it was a bad time to suspend.
You think it's just a coincidence that it just so happened that he got suspended before that game? I think they would have done it before any game, but I don't think they should have done it at that time. I think they should have probably waited till the next day, or after
they should have
the
done
game
it earlier. Or they should have done it earlier, before they were on the plane.
Anyways,
besides the point,
situation all around potentially. Thank you guys for listening to this podcast, and we will see you on the next one.
Nope. Adios.